And when you think about how do we attract and recruit and retain talent, we know that's top of mind for many businesses today, frankly all of us. These are the types of things that, and events and programs, that keep people and retain people, especially the young people, to say, this is a cool place to live. So we are extremely honored to be here. Once again, to help sponsor and be part of this community, and thank you. So without further ado, welcome to Tulip.
Hey, I'm Sarah Broadhead.
And I'm Mike Avery.
And it is that time of year. Tulip Time has started in Holland, and we are thrilled to be a media partner for the 2014 Tulip Time Festival.
That's right. And this year, Fox 17 pleased to welcome special correspondent Holland Mayor Kurt Dykstra to our team coverage, and he is standing by live in downtown Holland. Kurt, looks like a great day for the festival.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I'm here in downtown Holland, where, as you can see on this beautiful, warm, sunny spring day, we're really getting close to the kickoff of Tulip Time 2014. You know, after a long, cold, and snowy winter, people in this community are ready for the festival to begin. In fact, as we pan down the street here, you'll see that people have been lining up all day long to get ready for the parade, the unofficial kickoff of the Tulip Festival. Speaking of Tulip Festival, which of course reminds us of tulips, we can see here in one of the many downtown tulip beds that we have an almost perfect supply of flowers this year. In fact, sources close to Tulip Time told me that they guarantee that by noon today, the flowers will be in full bloom. It's a sure sign that spring has arrived. It's Tulip Time in Holland. This year, with the harsh and snowy winter, there was concern that the cold weather might affect the festival. However, those fears were unwarranted, as springtime has come to Holland, bringing with it millions of blooming tulips and crowds excited to celebrate the tulip and the warm spring weather. It's nice to be putting away our winter coats and really enjoying springtime weather, don't you think?
Oh yeah, you can tell I'm putting away my winter coat.
Good. Did you get up early this morning to set your blanket out?
Oh, I haven't got my blanket out yet, Kurt.
Electric blanket?
Electric blanket, I think, is what we're going to need.
Be sure to drink plenty of water today. Did you bring along some water for the...
I did, but it keeps freezing.
In addition to the usual Tulip Time decorations and traditions, like selfies in front of flower beds full of tulips, starting today, crowds will eagerly be flocking to downtown Holland to enjoy the first of 3 parades.
My favorite part of Tulip Time is the parades and seeing the dancers.
Oh, my favorite part, I guess, of the Wednesday parade is having all the kids, seeing all the kids in their costumes and the street scrubbing.
Can you believe this bull? We're out here, no tulips anywhere. What? Oh, we're on? City officials have confirmed for us that, in fact, the streets will need to be scrubbed before this afternoon's parade, so that will happen shortly. Governor Snyder is in town, so check back tonight at 6 o'clock for a full report on today's festivities from downtown Holland on this warm spring day. Reporting live for Fox 17, back to you.
Wow, that was awful.
That was pretty bad. Yeah, basically his day job, right? He's got to stick to his day job?
Yeah, but what does the mayor even do?
I mean, the city practically runs itself.
Yeah, I mean, those sidewalks downtown are heated, so it is not shoveling anything.
Plenty of water.
There's a couple breweries. I mean, what?
Good food.
You should Google, what does a mayor in Holland do?
Well, here I am, how stuff works. How mayors work. Well, it looks like they're responsible for all the city's main departments.
Oh. Kurt, you better get back to work.
We'll be back after this.
Sorry I'm late. You won't believe what I just got to do. It was pretty awesome. I don't want to say, toot my own horn or anything, but I just did something pretty cool, and I think I really did. I'm thinking that there's going to be a new opportunity for me in the near future because, well, just watch TV tonight. You'll see what I'm talking about. No, seriously, it is great to welcome you back to Tulip Time, the 85th celebration of the festival. In the flowers, and actually this year we have some. I'll set this down now and move to that one. I found that if you give the tech people some advance notice, things tend to work a little bit better. It is great to be back. Tulip Time 2014, the 85th celebration of the festival. Last year we had an excellent festival. You remember there were 2 big announcements last year. One of them had to do with the the necessity to fix the windmill and restore the windmill. The other one, we don't want to talk about that one. The other one was interesting. One of them worked great, the other one not so much. But this much we know that it's going to be a great festival this year, and that we are all here to celebrate not only flowers and not only Dutch things, but also community and Michigan. And with that, let me have the privilege of introducing to you, though perhaps they don't need much introduction, the head table who are here at the festival. To my right, we are actually, who's the executive director of Tulip Time. We're actually waiting for the ambassador from the Netherlands to the United States, who landed in Grand Rapids, I am told, and if you hear the sounds of helicopters overhead, I think it is probably because he hopefully will be landing on the front line soon and will join us in a little bit. Of course, to my left, to your right, the Honorable Rick Snyder, Governor of the state of Michigan. Him sporting his best, both Hope College and Netherlands tie, John Irwin, who is the West Michigan president of Huntington Bank, our chief sponsor for the luncheon today. And making his inaugural visit to his initial Tulip Time luncheon, the new president of Hope College, Dr. John Knapp.
Friends, welcome to Hope College. Let me extend a special welcome to our governor. It's a privilege and an honor to have you with us today. And we thank all of you for being a part of this great celebration and great tradition. Will you join me now in prayer? Gracious and loving God, this is the day that you have made. We rejoice and we are glad in it. We come to you with hearts of gratitude, grateful for the privilege of living in a free country and a wonderful community and state. We thank you for the good leadership that continues to make it possible for us to flourish in this place. We are grateful that you are the God of new beginnings, the God of springtime and new life. We see it around us today as the sun shines and the tulips bloom, and we give thanks for that. We ask your blessing on this festival, on all of those who visit our community, that they may receive a welcome and know that they are a part of the community where they are valued and always welcome. And we give thanks for the food today. We give thanks for those who prepared it and made it possible for us to gather, those who have worked to make this event possible, to make Tulip Time a great tradition for this town. We ask your blessing then on our time together. Amen. Please begin your reading.
Well, I trust that you've enjoyed your lunch, and please continue to enjoy your lunch as we continue the program. I should note that, well, before we go any further, why don't we give a special round of applause and appreciation to all the folks here at Hope College who set up the gym, prepared the food, and served it for us. It is no small feat to convert this fantastic auditorium and arena into a dining facility. So they've done it well again this year, and we're appreciative for it. I should also note that, of course, the colors this year were again presented by the Holland Department of Public Safety Honor Guard, and the Pledge of Allegiance was given to, we were led in the Pledge of Allegiance by the LAUP, Latin Americans United for Progress Youth Ambassadors, Diana Cortez and Gerald Cleveland were our speakers there, and the national anthem this year was sung by the Hamilton High School Honors Choir. And the ambassador was noting that the Dutch anthem was sung without a lot of accent, and I explained to him probably about 6 weeks ago they may not have known any Dutch whatsoever, so our secret is out. Now, it is a wonderful time of the year. It's a wonderful festival, and we are pleased that you are all here. Of course, Governor, it is remarkably great to have you back again this year. And this year, I would note that we are also privileged to have Kelsey Snyder, Governor's older daughter, I believe? Younger daughter, who is here at table 2. Kelsey, there you go. Kelsey, it is great to have you here, and I might note, Dr. Knapp, that she is a senior in high school, so perhaps sitting in this space could become habit-forming for her. But no, Kelsey's serious. Hey, all right, she's giving me a maybe, so we're still in the running. Money talks. Oh, okay. Do you want to do this? You're still in the... Irwin is the guy's name. He's the money guy. You want to talk to him. All right. Well, this is the unofficial kickoff to the summer tourist season here in the state of Michigan, and we know, however, that of course tourism doesn't just begin in the spring and the summer in Michigan. This is a 4-season destination for tourism. One of the special things that we're going to have unveiled today is a pure Michigan video commercial for the city, or for the Holland area. Let me try that again. We're going to have unveiled a pure Michigan commercial for the Holland area. Now, part of the reason we're doing it today is because you're all here. Part of the reason we're doing it today, of course, because this is the kickoff of Tulip Time. But part of the reason we're doing this here today is because we won't really get much of a chance to see it. It doesn't make a lot of sense from a budget standpoint to run the commercial locally. We know about this place. We like this place. We're going to run it in places outside of our area so that people who may not know about Holland find out about us and come and visit and spend some money here. However, of course, this is not the first time. Now, you may not know this, but this is not the first time we've had a Holland commercial. There was one that had been done earlier highlighting other seasons
in the Holland area, not just spring and summer. And again, because you haven't seen it, maybe we thought we'd quickly show that to you as well.
It starts with a single snowflake. The kind you tried to catch on your tongue as a kid. Try catching it again in a place called Holland, a place where that single snowflake falls and falls and falls and falls some more. In fact, you'll wonder if it will ever stop snowing, and that's at the end of December. Then you'll have 5 more freezing months and 12 more feet of the white stuff to crush your childhood nostalgia like the powdery discharge from your snowblower crushes your front bushes. That's a never-ending Holland winter. That's pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
I don't know about you, but I get choked up every time I see that one. It's so good. We lived it, didn't we? We lived it, and we're still living it, it seems like. No, of course, that's a spoof. Didn't really happen. It's not really an authorized, sanctioned commercial. But we do know that tourism in Michigan is an incredible part of our economy as a state. Some stats recently came out that we're talking about $18 billion to the Michigan economy that comes to us from tourism. And we're talking about 96 million travelers throughout the state of Michigan. Those are incredible, incredible numbers. And while we have so much that is beautiful and so much culture in this state, we also know that those attributes, as great as they are, don't necessarily draw to us wonderful tourism numbers. So we're so incredibly fortunate to have a great advertising campaign through the state called Pure Michigan. You might have heard of it. And it is the envy of every other state because it is so magnificent. We're thrilled today to have with us the director of Pure Michigan, Dave Lorenz, as well as travel commissioners for Pure Michigan from throughout the state, and they are midway back. Would you stand so we can give our expression of appreciation to you for Pure Michigan and all that you do for Michigan tourism. You know, Pure Michigan is a smashing success, and we're thrilled to have you here at the festival. And Governor and members of the legislature who are here, they just approved some additional funding for Pure Michigan so that message can get out further, faster, and even better. So thank you for that as well. Well, part of springtime tourism is the Tulip Time Festival, and I am pleased now to welcome to the microphone Gwen Auerta, who is the Executive Director of Tulip Time, to go through welcoming some of our very special guests who are with us today. Gwen.
Thank you. Thank you, Kurt, and thank you all for being here today. This is the 85th festival, and we are so excited as a community. And so I want to thank a few important groups of people for your presence today. First, the Tulip Time Board of Directors, who have guided, supported, and fostered Tulip's tradition and transition. Please stand so we can recognize you. Our sponsors make it possible to invite the world to join the dance. Today's luncheon sponsor is presented by Huntington Bank, underwritten by the Holland Visitors Bureau. The reception prior to lunch was sponsored by Blue Cross Blue Shield Blue Care Network of Michigan. Please stand so we can thank you as well. And thank you, Governor Snyder, for again joining us, as well as Ambassador Baking, who landed on the front lawn. We didn't hear the helicopter, but he got here. And also from the state of Michigan, our distinguished state leadership, including Secretary of State Ruth Johnson, Attorney General Bill Schuette, and Speaker of House Jace Bolger. Please stand and say hello. We are pleased to welcome the Consul General of Japan, Mr. Kademaya, General Counsel of Mexico, Mr. Morales, and Consul General of the Netherlands, Mr. Van der Tempel. Please stand. I think they're over in this area. On behalf of the Board of Directors, I would like to recognize the Grand Marshals of this year's parades. Jody Syons, longtime board member and City of Holland employee. She's the Volks Parade Grand Marshal today. Tomorrow at the JCI Kinder Parade, we have Gary Feenstra and Glenn Voss, some of our awesome educators. If you could stand, please. We also, tomorrow, have student Grand Marshals because they are our future. The Community Foundation of the Holland-Zeeland area has a scholarship program, and these are community service scholar winners, and so we would like to have you stand and be recognized as well as our student Grand Marshals in the JCI Kinder Parade. And we are looking forward to visiting with Saturday's GMB Music Parade Grand Marshal Jason Hansen of the Detroit Lions. What does tourism mean to Holland and the West Michigan community? We welcome 500,000 of our family and friends who come from all 50 states and over 30 countries to Holland. This week has an economic impact of $10 million, and it kicks off the tourism season in West Michigan. Tulip Time presents entertainment elements rooted in tradition, such as Dutch dance to fabulous new performers like Bill Cosby and Vocal Trash, which appeal to all generations. Each year, we also introduce new elements to surprise and delight you. This year, we have Dutch dogs on parade. Have you seen them? They will be bringing up the tail end of today's Volks Parade in their Dutch costumes. Saturday, we have the Philadelphia Mummers, just to have some fun. You need to Google that and look them up. They are great. They will lead off the parade and then do an encore performance in front of GMB and the splash pad following the parade. This past weekend, we continue to develop and deepen our community relationships and had fun celebrating Fiesta by collaborating with Laup at the first time ever beer tent at that event. Tulip Time wants to highlight our unique community. This year we partnered with Coppercraft, a local grain-to-glass distillery, for the official spirits of Tulip Time. If you haven't yet tried the Tulip Time, T-H-Y-M-E, cocktail, head to your favorite restaurant and toast to another successful Pure Michigan summer. We are proud to be featured with Pure Michigan as a tourist destination, filmed last summer and made possible with a partnership between the Holland Visitors Bureau and Travel Michigan. You are the first to preview Going Dutch. Please enjoy the rest of your day here and the parade, and we're hoping that the rain holds off. Thank you.
Going Dutch. To many, it means sharing the bill. But in some places, it means sharing the wind, sharing the stories, sharing the memories. Come share in the warmth and wonder of Holland, where Going Dutch doesn't require a passport, and savoring the best of life is Pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
Well, I'd say that was worth the wait. Fantastic. Thank you, Gwen, and thank you, Pure Michigan. It's our privilege this year to welcome, for his first visit to this Holland, the ambassador to the United States from the Kingdom of the Netherlands, Rudolf Bekink. He was born in the city of Assen, which is the provincial capital of the province of Drenthe. Drenthe in the Netherlands is a little bit different than Drenthe here in West Michigan, but as part of his tour, he made very clear that he needed to be sure to go to Drenthe in West Michigan. So we will be there at some time over the next couple of days. You'll understand why they're chuckling when you see Drenthe in the West Michigan. A little bit different than the province, but nonetheless great. He earned degrees from the University of Groningen and has been in the Dutch Foreign Service ever since, holding many numerous postings. In fact, he was the first secretary for the political department here in, well, not here in Washington, but here in the United States at the embassy in Washington, D.C., covering Africa, Latin America, Europe, and matters of protocol. In addition to many other jobs and postings in the Dutch Foreign Service, he has held some ambassadorships previous to his posting here in the U.S. Most recently, he was the ambassador to the People's Republic of China, as well as the country of Belgium and Sweden. He married a wonderful, wonderful woman who is in the Austin area. I've had the privilege of having dinner with her, and she is an absolute delight. And Gabriel de Kuiper. And again, as I mentioned, this is his first visit to our Holland. And I will say I've had the privilege of really meeting and knowing 3 Dutch ambassadors. And all 3 have been remarkable. And it's really been a privilege to get to know you over the past year. And it's great to have you here in Holland. One more thing I will say is, though the Netherlands is a small country, it is a major investor in the United States. And part of what it is now doing is raising the profile of the embassy in Washington, D.C. And only recently they unveiled a new program, Holland on the Hill, to brand all of the activities that the embassy does up on Capitol Hill. And by all reports, the early going is fantastic. So, Mr. Ambassador, welcome to Holland, Michigan. And let's give him a nice, warm Holland welcome.
Yeah, we're piggyback riding on Holland on the Hill, of course, Holland, Michigan on the Hill. That's for sure, because you have an excellent representative on the Hill, Bill Huizinga, who I consider to be a great friend of mine, and my wife also. Governor, Mayor, Madam, Mr. President, Dr. Knapp, who, by the way, there's a Dr. Knapp, also George Washington University, the president. So it's in the it runs in the family, I gather. Anyhow, I'm supposed, the first thing I asked to my dear friends, JC and Tammy Huizinga, they took me in their helicopter, which was great fun. Where's the snow? Because I was promised snow. I didn't see any, and I do love snow, so I'll come back when there's certainly snow here. That must be in between November and April. Am I correct? August. I'm very happy to be here at Hope College. Indeed, it's a great college. I was given to understand that the sports teams do very well. That's important in this country, but also in my country. As you know, the Dutch, I mean, we never brag, but we are really proud of our speed skaters. They did well in Russia. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm very happy to see so many people in the Dutch national costume and even walking on wooden shoes. I wouldn't dare to do that. Far too complicated for me. Even though in Asse I started on wooden shoes, but that is long past. There's no wooden shoes in China, Belgium, or Sweden. I'm supposed to speak about the past, the present, and the future of US-Dutch relations. I think the past was great. The present is even greater, and I'm absolutely sure that the future will be the greatest. Talking about the past, I mean, obviously you are a result of the past, the 3 waves of immigration. The first, obviously, going to New York and Connecticut, New Haven, New York. The second one here in Michigan and Iowa, and the third one at the end of after the Second World War, more people from the now Republic of Indonesia who went to Louisiana and of course also to California, more towards the sun than the snow, those people, obviously. They all do, I've got a feeling that they all do very well. I'm already in 82, 86 when I was here in the US, De Vos and Van Andel were household names, also together with the then Guy Vanderjagt, I don't know, one of the predecessors of Bill in Congress. The present, as the mayor was mentioning, we are indeed a very heavy investor in this country. I mean, you go where the money can be earned, after all. After all, we are Dutch, and so we want to make money. Trade is also quite important, and that might be the reason that the future might be even greater when we have TTIP, the Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership, which is supposed to come to full bloom in the next year, I'd say. Hopefully then the negotiation will be finalized, and that will be very important not only for trade but also for the norms and values that we share. I think that is very, very important for us to know that the norms and values that you cherish are also cherished in the Netherlands. Even more important now that in my part of the globe, Europe, things are happening that we do not like at all. I'm now referring obviously to Ukraine, and it's very important that we stick together there, obviously within NATO. I think we're very, very happy that NATO is there, and we hope it will be there for decades to come. I'm very, very happy here. I'm looking forward to the parade. I was given to understand by all my predecessors that's the thing that one can't possibly miss. I sit in front, somewhere in the front, but not in a national costume.
If you want to.
But I have my orange tie. And in a convertible, so it won't rain, ma'am.
We're hoping it doesn't rain.
Good.
At 2 o'clock.
Thank you very much.
Well, welcome everyone. On behalf of Huntington and my colleagues here today. It was nearly a year ago that I had the incredible opportunity to visit the Netherlands with our Lieutenant Governor, business leaders, many of who are here now, Paul Hewley, our Dutch Consul General, in a trade mission trip to really start to actively be engaged in making new friendships and building business connections between West Michigan and Holland. And because when you know, it all comes down to the end, people do business with people they like, and that's what we were trying to do on that particular event, and there's been a lot of good work here in West Michigan since that time. I did learn something interesting, though, about tulips, and I was really bummed to find out they didn't originate in Holland. They were imported there in the 16th century, but who would know that now? Because you really have, in Holland, the nation of Holland's become the flower capital of the world, and if you go there, it's an incredible sight to be seen. Here in Holland, Michigan, we've helped to keep this tradition alive. Most of all, we celebrate the great public-private partnerships that we have, and we're so grateful to have here in West Michigan. And today, Tulip Time, to me, is the perfect poster for what we call pure Michigan, regardless of what commercial we put up there, Kurt. Tulip Time not only attracts visitors, but it also helps in ongoing businesses that we have here too, and also helps us to celebrate agriculture, which is a big part of what we have here in West Michigan, and inspires volunteerism. While the tulips are always the art in the backdrop of every view, the festival's efforts to share diversity of our employers, the village-like atmosphere we have in downtown Holland, and then the regional appeal of what it's like to live, work, and play here. And it's all important in terms of the strength of our local economy. This is Tulip Time. This is Michigan in its purest form. And Huntington Bank believes in investing in Michigan. And it's very special to us here in Holland, not because we just have 400 colleagues that work here, but because of what we do to support small businesses. And small businesses produce jobs in the state. Governor Snyder, Holland and Huntington, proudly support your work to date, your vision, your leadership, your relentless positive action, and helping Michigan stay on the course to reform that we're all anxious to be a part of. We see your leadership as key in making Michigan a competitive economic force nationally. Your support of the importance of attracting and retaining talent, which you heard from Jeff earlier, is incredibly important to this region. So Holland stands with you. And we're so proud of the wonderful things that's gone on here, and we're so proud that this Pure Michigan campaign is going to be shared around the world about Michigan, not just around the country. So as you continue your plan to clean up Michigan policy, so that we can attract and retain more jobs, which is what we're all interested in, know that Tulip Time is also an event that helps clean the streets, and you're going to be doing that today, my friend. So I hope you have an extra pair of socks. And you can rest assured that Holland is truly a community that's going to continue to help seed your economic gardens in Michigan. So Governor Snyder, welcome back to Holland, Michigan.
Well, thank you very much. It's great to be with you today. It is a special day. I'm back for my 5th visit to the festival, so I'm very excited by that. If you wonder, 4 years as governor, I actually had the opportunity to come march in the parade back in the 70s, so I've gotten to trade in a saxophone for a broom. So we'll see an exciting opportunity. It sounds like we're going to have wet streets, so we can clean them really well today in terms of getting them all cleaned up. But it's great to be with you. Before I get started with some comments, though, I do want to extend special welcomes. In particular, it's great to have you, Mr. Ambassador, for your first visit to Holland, Michigan. Thank you for joining us today. I'd also like to welcome our college president from Hope College, new to this area, but we're excited to have you here and the innovations you're going to bring. So it's great to have new people come to our area. I also want to recognize we have a great leadership team at state government that I'm proud to be with today in terms of being here. We have our Attorney General Bill Schuette, our Secretary of State Ruth Johnson, our Speaker of the House Jace Bolger, and a number of legislators and leaders. So I'd ask all our legislators to stand up if we could give them a round of applause. And I love your mayor. One of the highlights I get is always coming to this luncheon. I have no idea what he's going to come up with each year in terms of things he's going to cover. So if you'll indulge me, he's got a great sense of humor. I thought I would share one story with you about your mayor. So this event took place earlier this year, and I don't normally talk about I versus we, but I will. So I was in my press auditorium doing a press conference that I was going to sign a bill on personal property tax, and we had a lot of great leaders with us, and your mayor was there to help celebrate the success, and I thought you should know the role he plays in the state. I may be governor of the state of Michigan, but the people that at that press conference identified this fine mayor as the big guy. Congratulations, Mayor.
Appreciate that.
Now, how many of you wish you had the opportunity to pick on the mayor like that occasionally? He does an outstanding job, though, Mayor. In all great regard, you're extremely successful. It's a wonderful community, and you did really good in marketing that windmill last year. So, well, you should give him a round of applause for that. It worked. It is great to be with you, though. I thought I would cover 3 general topics. One, a quick update on the state of Michigan. But then I do want to talk about this region, about Holland, Ottawa County, and the region and the role it plays, because it is a critical role, and I'm not sure you get an opportunity to really hear it or appreciate the wonderful things going on and how important you are to our state. And then I want to talk about 2 or 3 topics for the future, because again, we've seen a lot of success. We are the comeback state in Michigan, but we should not be complacent nor content with what's been achieved. There's much more work to be done. And in fact, I believe we should be accelerating the work we've been doing and go even faster. Now, with respect to the state of Michigan, I am proud to say we are the comeback state. And how do you measure those things? You start with jobs. So in the last 3 years, we created over 250,000 private sector jobs in the state of Michigan. If you look at those jobs, we're #1 in manufacturing jobs. We're #3 in high-tech jobs. We're #4 in high-paying jobs in our state. These are great opportunities, and that's how you bring a state back. But beyond just jobs, it's also about the income levels for people on a per capita basis, because we went backwards. If you go back to the late 90s, we ranked 17th in the United States in per capita income. By 2008 and 9, we dropped to 38th or so. Last year, though, I'm proud to say, and for the last 2 or 3 years, we've been coming back. We've been seeing that number recover. We're the 9th fastest state in per capita income growth last year. That's the best we've done in the last 20 years. So we're moving in the right direction. Our state's growing again in terms of population. And very importantly, we're starting to keep that age demographic of 25 to 34-year-olds in our state. So we're on the cusp of that massive turnaround, that comeback. And again, that's why we should reinforce that. But one of the great parts of our state is the diversity of our state and how the different regions contribute to that success. And that's where I wanted to talk about the region a little bit, about the role the Holland area and Ottawa County plays. You are a leader, and you should know that. If you talk about unemployment, the 3rd lowest unemployment rate in the state of Michigan is right here. It's 6%. And that, in fact, happened while the labor force is growing. So the denominator was getting bigger as you were bringing down the unemployment rate. The future looks bright. Lakeshore Advantage has done good work. I think the forecast is roughly 2,400 additional jobs over the next 3 years. That's truly exciting. Wonderful things going on. But why is that? Again, as government, we try to play our role, but our role is to create the environment for success. We like to see free enterprise work, and this is a place of free enterprise in this region. A couple stats that stood out to me when I was looking at some of the other survey results. It's interesting to note that if you look at companies in this region, on average, they spend about 50% more on research and development than the national or Midwest average. Again, they're investing for the future. You're building innovations, things to last for the long term, that will be job creators and sustainable job creators. If you look at the forecast for expected growth, it's about 50% better than the rest of the country in terms of what entrepreneurs, business people think is the future in our country and in the world. That's the kind of attitude you have to have. You've got to have that entrepreneurial spirit about winning and succeeding, and it's right here, and you should be proud of that. You've got wonderful companies that are huge successes. Gentex, Herman Miller, Hayworth are legendary companies that we all know. It was exciting. I had a great opportunity today to visit EBW Electronics. That's a wonderful success story, doing LED lighting. Again, the future. The future is LED lighting, folks. In 2010, they had 30 people. Today, they have 152. What kind of growth? It's outstanding. And that's looking towards the future. And one thing I would suggest that you seriously look at, because this is a wonderful area and it's great to celebrate tulip time and Dutch heritage, but you need to work more on celebrating the broad heritage of the wonderful people in this community. Because one thing that stood out to me is they did a welcome sign for me. And the workforce, the people working there, did it in their native languages. They said, welcome. Do you have any idea how many different languages were in those 150 people? And it wasn't even 150, it was just the first shift people. There were over a dozen different languages represented working in that plant. That's something you should be really proud of, because the Dutch message is one of immigration and the power and the strength that immigration means to our country. I'm proud to be the most pro-immigration governor in this country, and you should be embracing it even more. The Dutch heritage, but the heritage of all the fine people in this community and this county. It's truly amazing, and you should be proud. Another illustration is I did an interview with the Weather Channel this morning, and there was a high school group, a dance group, and I had the superintendent, he gave me the background and the kids in that dance class, and all the wonderful things they were achieving. And they were an extremely diverse group of kids in terms of their cultural backgrounds. But they had achieved so much. And I'll give you one illustration that you should be proud of. A program we've supported strongly at the state level was the world champs for FIRST Robotics is from Holland, Michigan. You should be proud of that. There were 4 teams recognized as the world champs. 2 of them were from Michigan, and 1 right here in Holland. That's the kind of success story that we can show the rest of the world. And why is it important in a program like FIRST Robotics? Because it is about our future. About 6% of our kids look at engineering. If they go to FIRST Robotics, it goes over 40%. What a wonderful opportunity. So you're playing a huge leadership role in our state in terms of economics, but you're also doing it in quality of life. What a great place to live. And that gets back to the basics. If you look at the industries in our state, you're a great representation. Automotive, again, think of those auto suppliers I talked about, EBW Electronics, the other companies I mentioned, Gentex in particular. Autos are back in Michigan, they're reconsolidating here. Agriculture is doing extremely well, 16% export growth in agriculture and food products. Tourism, pure Michigan. You gotta love that ad. More the second one than the first one. We have the best tourism campaign in the United States, and we should be proud. If you want to see something really wild, we'll bring it next year. Actually, I launched Pure Michigan in China, and I got to see an ad in Chinese. That'll really get your attention. In terms of the future, though, we can't be complacent, as I said earlier. We have to focus in on issues. And there are some important issues we still need to address. I'm proud to say over the last 3 years, I said I was going to do a lot of things when I was running, and I've tried to do as many of those as possible in good faith to get the job done. As part of that, a lot of it was making some really tough decisions. And I'm proud of those decisions because it was about building a long-term foundation for our future. But there are still things to go, things I would put on that list. One is transportation, our roads. How many people here do not like our roads? Raise your hand. Now, I understand if you want a great experience, you're supposed to go out to Ottawa Beach Road. What I might suggest to you is we have an opportunity to solve that. One of the nice things is occasionally I get forums with lots of legislators. For the last 2 years, I've been calling for additional revenue for our roads because we've been underinvesting. It's basically, it's like having a car that you decided you weren't going to do the oil change on because you didn't want to pay the bill for the oil change. We need to invest more, and it would actually save us money. It would save lives, create jobs. We pay over $100 more than our surrounding states for repair costs because of road damage. We could save all that, folks, if we invest more. And so instead of having an Ottawa Beach Road, I ask you to speak up to your legislators to say now is the time. I appreciate the work the House is doing now to pass a road package. I look forward to working with the Senate on it, but we have a window here to let's get a long-term solution in place. It's a great opportunity. Other things I would mention to you in terms of looking at the future that are really important, though, number one on my list is talent. One of the great challenges we're going to find, I talked about the fabulous success, the lower unemployment rate here, the jobs coming here, is we're going to have a serious skills gap. We have a skills gap in our country, and it's only going to be magnified, and it actually could inhibit growth, where cases could come up where we won't be able to grow if we don't otherwise solve it. And what do I mean by that? Again, still too much unemployment, but still too many open jobs. Right now, there are over 70,000 open jobs in Michigan. Many are good, well-paying jobs. Why is that? Because what we did was we broke our system in the United States. What we did quite a few decades ago is we said, we really need to get people to have additional skills to be successful, and that was the right thing to say. But the way we said it is everyone should go get a university degree. Now, I'll tell you, we should never back away from encouraging people to get a university degree, particularly in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. So that was the smart part. But the dumb thing we did is we didn't equally encourage people to get a skilled trade background, to go to career tech education, whether it be a community college, intermediate school district, or some other place. We messed up. And that's our opportunity. There are tens of thousands of jobs waiting. Good, well-paying jobs, jobs that'll pay $50,000 to $80,000 a year. And I think that should be our top priority in terms of filling those slots. So what do we need to do? How do you do that? I call it talent in the 3 C's. We need the private sector, all you fine entrepreneurs and business people, to step up and do a better job of getting engaged, telling us where the demand for jobs are today and tomorrow. We need to work more with the education sector on the creation of talent, to say what's the supply of talent in terms of welders, electricians, other skilled tradespeople. And then we need to connect those two worlds, taking demand and supply and putting them together. It's really basic, folks, but it's not being done well. And I want Michigan to be #1 at doing that. It would be a significant competitive advantage for our state for the next 5 to 10 years and longer to do it better than anyone. A couple parts of this, though, that are really important. Redefining what a skilled trade is. Traditionally, if I say skilled trade to anyone, they'll come up with welder, electrician, plumber. If you're a welder in Michigan, you can get a job in any corner of Michigan in probably a day or less. A great paying job. But the part is skilled trades are now much broader. If you're working in a manufacturing facility, odds are you're a skilled tradesperson because you're running a piece of robotics equipment. If you're a farmer today, you're a skilled tradesperson because you're driving a $250,000 tractor, a $500,000 combine that's run by technology, and you need to know how to run it right. Let's fill these spots. To give you an illustration of a program we created a couple years ago, it's called Matt Squared. Actually, I brought the German apprenticeship model back to Michigan. It's Michigan Advanced Technician Training. It's a pilot year. We're doing it at Oakland Community College and Henry Ford Community College, and we should be doing it in every corner in Michigan in my book. But how does it work? We've got 30-some students, they applied to the program, they got in, they start working for a company right away. They're sponsored by a company. Then they alternate going to school. The company's paying their tuition to go to school, so they're incurring no school debt. After 3 years, they come out with an associate's degree, a certificate, a guaranteed job, and a work commitment for 2 years. And the field is mechatronics, mechanical and electronics combined. And those are the folks running those robotics equipment. Isn't that a cool opportunity? Isn't that a future we would be proud to have our children doing? Those are the kind of opportunities we can build on. Next year we intend to expand. We're going to do information technology, industrial design. We should be doing auto technicians. When I went to the Detroit Auto Show, I had enough demand from a dozen auto dealers for over 100 auto technician slots that they didn't even bother to post because they couldn't fill them. That's why we need that collaboration. We need you to speak up, business folk. So this is a priority that's an exciting one. It's one of the great challenges of our country, but it's a great opportunity for Michigan. What a difference we can make. So if you think about it and step back, that's why I'm always proud and excited to be here. This is a leadership community. This is a free enterprise community that knows how to do innovation right. This is a community that embraces diversity, but you need to market it better, folks, that understands the power of immigration. This is a great opportunity. We're coming back. You're helping lead that comeback in the state of Michigan. Again, 250,000 jobs, personal incomes rising. You can see homes being sold again, homes being built again. But let's go faster. Let's bring a fire and passion to the state to say, we knew how to build a great Michigan before, and we can show we can learn from that and do it even better this time. And all it requires is us standing up, not being different, but using relentless positive action to bring us together without fighting, without blame, to say, here are problems, we're going to solve those problems, we're going to move forward, and we're going to be the leading state in the nation. I am absolutely honored to be your governor. I'm fired up to help lead this charge. I hope you're with me. Let's have a great festival. Let's show the rest of the world this is the place to be, is in Holland for the next few days, but a great place to live for the long term, and Michigan's the place to be in terms of a reinvented state. Thank you so much.
Governor, thank you very much. 5 years he's come to Tulip Time. I'm thinking he should shoot for like at least 9. I don't know about you, but let's see 9 years at least. We'll ink that deal, Governor. Thank you so much for those remarks. Boy, I don't think we cannot come back with that kind of leadership at the helm and that kind of enthusiasm at the helm. Thank you. Well, we're getting close to the end of the luncheon, and we have the winner of the Tulip Time print. And this year's print, find my notes here, there we go. This year's print, there we have it, was by artist Karen Nelson. And a copy of the original, or a copy? Yes, is right here. It's a wonderful thing. You'll find it on prints all throughout the city, through downtown, mugs, notes, screensavers, mouse pads, whatever you want it on, they'll put it on if you're going to pay money for it. So it's all good, but it's wonderful. It's selling well. And this year's print, the winner of the drawing, which I'm pleased to give to the winner, give to the winner. Oh boy, that was a slip. Give to the winner, along with John from Huntington Bank, is Shannon Van Noy from Boar's Head. Shannon, can you wave at us? There she is. And Kate Klemp is handing her the print. Wonderful. Many thanks again to Huntington for sponsoring that as well. Well, we did not this year add the Blue Angels overhead. That was some other rumbling sounds outside, and I'm turning to Gwen here to see where we're at with what we're at. Oh. Hold on one second. I'm going to grab the other microphone for our sound guy. We're back on this one, I think. Tess?
Are we? There we go. Gwen.
While we have listened to some thunder, the sun is starting to come up on the west. The rain has stopped, and it will not rain on our parade.
Excellent news. And finally, let me just make one final bit of remark, and again, another bit of thank you to some of the leaders, not only in this community, who supported our project that we talked a lot about last year with the windmill, but also things that perhaps ran a bit under the radar that I want to acknowledge now that the project is done and the blades are spinning. And that is the incredible leadership that was shown by the state of Michigan. Our local representative, Chairman Joe Hovman, was on the leadership team, along with, of course, Speaker of the House Bolger, and members of that leadership team, Representative Lunn and Stamus and others are here with us today. And Governor Snyder showed tremendous leadership on that project as well. So it wouldn't have gotten done without their help and their assistance. So I'd like us to give them one large community thank you for their participation and leadership in this community and really state asset for us. Thank you very much. Well, it's about time for the parade to begin, but before you dismiss, if you would avoid crashing the stage here, because the governor has to get down to do some things, and before he gets into his Dutch costume, he's admitted that probably Kelsey is going to handle the wooden shoes better than he will. We'll find out. Great. Thanks, everyone, for attending the luncheon for the 85th Annual Tulip Time Festival. Look forward to a great festival with you, and we will see you next year. Thanks, everyone.